My name is Modderman. They tell me here in the States I speak funny. I'm originally from South Africa, grew up in Port Elizabeth, call that the Windy City. Good place to grow up and learn how to Hobie cat sail. And been in the States now for over 20 years, sailing the North Americans and representing the US.
Nice.
This is a Southern Hemisphere thing, the way this outhaul is attached here. And purely it's just to keep the kringle in tight there, and it's a way that you can actually, if I release this a little bit, you'll see it's a little easier to get the tension on it. So it's purely a Australia, South African thing. If you put the notch back like that, you can actually get a lot more tension and it holds it really tight. I mean, it's purely a preference thing. You can go straight back to it without an issue either. Offshore stuff. Tie that there so it doesn't get caught up in the blocks. Okay, so another really handy thing, I don't know if many people do this on the blocks, is to put this a little elastic through your block system like this. And what that does is it prevents the block from rotating and getting all twisted around, especially in a job or attack where the tension gets released briefly and then you spend a while trying to recover the block again by untwisting it. At least this way the block always stays facing back. So it's a pretty handy little thing. It's very simple. Just the little bungee goes through there, and then what happens is it prevents the block from rotating around. It kind of holds it facing back. Okay, so that's a little tip there. So what we were looking at was sheeting tension on the Hobie 60. Okay, so as we were talking about earlier, the most important thing with sheeting tension is that you want your leech tension on your mainsail. Okay, so you always want leech tension. Okay, so you gauge your leech tension by your jib halyard tension. Okay, so if you're feeling you're sailing along and you're feeling like the boat is flying a hole all the time and you're struggling to harness the power of the boat, you need to drop your jib halyard maybe an inch or even as little as half an inch. That little adjustment will just calm the boat down enough that you can handle it. So instead of having too much power, which is basically getting transferred to your leeward hull and flying a hull, which is slow basically. As soon as the hull lifts too far out of the water, the boat slows down, so you lose your speed. So you want to transfer that power into forward propulsion. Okay, so you want to balance between power and drive. Okay, so that's where a lot of your sheeting tension will happen. Obviously, the more rake you carry, the better it is. Okay, it becomes a little trickier and the boat becomes a little more sensitive, but once you get used to it, it is the way to go. It's like a windsurfer. As you drop your sail back or your mast back, the sailboat automatically goes up into the wind. It's the same kind of theory. The more you drop your mast back, the better point you'll potentially have. Okay, combined with that, your rake and your leech tension, okay, you find the balance. Okay, I'm very much of a seat of the pants sailor. So I don't measure things very often. I go by feel. So I'll basically set my boat up, go out on the water, go for a burn and feel how the boat is. If I've got too much power and I'm struggling to keep it down and I'm noticing I'm having to travel down a little bit, which is also an option to release a little bit of power, then I will drop my jib halyard just a little bit, half an inch to an inch. I'll go again, see how it feels until I find that balance. Okay, a lot of people have mentioned that we sail very flat. Okay, I find the fastest point of sail is when your weather hull is just off the water, just skimming the water. That's ideal. Okay, you got enough power and you're transferring that power into forward momentum. The boat's staying flat, the mast is staying vertical, and you harnessing as much power as you can. Okay, not too much that the minute you fly, you slow down, you've got to recover again, you've lost a couple of boat lengths. Okay, so I've basically set it up for light area, so this is this is close. I would say if the wind is going to stay like below 10 knots, I would actually drop the mast back another inch, you know, just so that the top block will probably come about 6 inches away from the main block. Okay, so that's still a little far. So if the wind is blowing 15, I would probably be where I am, so that if I did sheet in, I would go in a little more, and that would be where I was at. Okay, so ideally you always want to try and be block to block. In super light airs, you know, I like to keep a little bit of opening between the blocks, just in case the wind kind of picks up halfway through the race. At least then you've got a little bit of in reserve. Plus it does keep the mast a little further forward in the lighter conditions, you know. Okay, so we were actually talking about this earlier too. Okay, basically what you're referring to is shroud tension. Okay, so as you use the boat, you'll find where the optimum spot is. So basically, once we find that good place, personally, I'll only vary it one hole. So when it starts getting 20 plus, I'll go down one hole on my shrouds, just so that I can keep the rig nice and tensioned. Yeah, which is what I like. I like a tight rig. Okay, once it becomes a preference thing, everybody has their own preferences. Okay, so basically a rule of thumb is the lighter the wind, the lighter the rig tension. The stronger the wind, the stronger the tension, the more tension you're going to put onto it. And basically the same refers to your sheeting tension. Okay, you don't want to, the thing that will kill you the most in light airs is oversheeting. If you pull in your main sheet just a little too much, the boat's going to stall. Okay, so it's very key. And we had talked about the little telltales on the leech. We're giving away all our secrets here. The telltales on the leech of the sail, to me those are key, both upwind and downwind. Okay, yes, so I look for 70%, 75% flow on those telltales. So upwind in super light conditions, when you got your crew forward in the middle of the boat and you up forward, okay, it's very easy to oversheet. Okay, so first thing I'll do is look at my leech telltales and check for flow. So I'm looking for 75% flow is ideal. And 90% of the time, if I'm feeling like the boat's just not quite in the groove, I'll look up there and I'm oversheeted. And it's as little as an inch release. Release an inch, give it a little while and see how it feels. Try to get that boat back into the groove.
So are they sticking out at 100%, like straight out when that happens?
Yeah, 70% of the time should be flowing straight back. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you're going to get the little flop, the telltale's going to flop around, so it's not going to be 100% back.
Right.
If it's 100% back all the time, then you're going to sheet. Okay? So you almost want to be a little oversheeted. Same on the jib. If you look at anybody that's sailing double trap, doing hardcore, their weather sheet, weather telltale, sorry, is almost straight up. You know? So you're almost going up, you're kind of feathering the boat basically. You know, so your jib at that point is sheeted in all the way. So ideally on the 16, what you're striving for is to be block to block. You're always wanting to try to get both on the jib and on the main. Okay, the jib is a little trickier, so you almost got to set up the main first, where you want to be, and your rig tension. Okay, not to get away from the rig tension thing. This is something else I do. Okay, we're going back. And your power is all monitored or dictated to by the jib halyard. Okay, the jib halyard is basically your throttle, your power. This is your power source right here. So we've got a little mark here, a black mark, and we go on the black band. So usually I'll have little stripes down here. I haven't done that yet, so that we can see, and we'll do little inch increments, and we'll change that half an inch at a time. Okay, so like I said, we'll go out there, we'll dial up, we'll get out in trapeze, or we'll go upwind, and we'll see how the boat feels. If it's stalling and we've got a lot of sheeting tension like that, I may drop it back half an inch until I find that sweet spot. Okay? If you double trapping and the boat's flying the hull all the time, you've got too much power. If you're finding your crew is starting to drop your traveler to bring the power down, then you can afford to drop your half an inch or an inch. Okay, that's all, and then go again. Now it's good to have a little bit extra power in the bank, so that at the start you can work your way up, or you can power over somebody. So you don't want to be underpowered too. You know, there's that balance. We were having a little bit of a discussion about wind X's or wind indicators on our bridle wires here. Chris Dutton has engineered one of the little red wind indicators to a Davis one, which is really nice. It misses the two little arms, and we were just referring to the arms, and I was just saying I actually never look at my wind X going upwind unless there's a big wind shift to get an indication of the wind direction. But generally I'm going by my jib telltales when I'm sailing upwind, and if there's a big wind shift, granted, I'll have a glance at that and they'll tell me. But if I'm on a path, and certainly if I'm trapezing, very, very seldom I look at this guy. For me, where this guy really makes a difference is going downwind. And we were talking about whether we like the little indicators on the side here, and whether it's worth having that. I don't believe it is, because the main thing I look for is this to be 90 degrees going downwind. So that's what our focus is, to keep the wind 90 degrees to the boat going downwind, and that's kind of optimum. Obviously it depends who you're racing. If you want to beat it up, you may catch a wave and be able to bear off, but ideally you want to keep that 90 degrees to the wind. That's kind of where we're going with that.
You don't use it upwind though?
I don't generally use it upwind. As far as the little wind indicators, the tape and that, I've really struggled with these. I struggle to see exactly where it is. And I mean, the difference between that direction and that direction to me is huge. So you want to see that instantly, whereas the little wind indicator, okay, I'm not that smart, so I need something to really tell me 100% as to where the wind's coming from. And this has a little pointy arrow, so it lets me know exactly where the wind's coming from. I tend to get a little confused with this because they do tend to move around a lot. Granted, they are generally in the right direction, and once again, it's something that you get used to. The more you use something, the more you're going to get accustomed to it. But this, or the little red one, works really well. And basically downwind, I try and keep that 90 degrees and keep my sails trimmed to that.
And like that boat is perfectly straight. I'm like, I don't want any more forward back, but to me, I'm seeing it as level as you could make a Hobie banana hull.
Did you get that? What he was saying there? Perfect. Okay, so basically what Chris is saying is 100%. As this boat is sitting on the ground right now, that is ideal. The boat is level, it's even, okay? And to me, boat distribution on the boat is key. Super, super important. Obviously, the more wind you get, the easier it becomes. You can make a little more errors. You want to keep your weight a little further back, but basically you want to keep your boat level, okay? So what will happen is, if your weight is distributed back a little bit further, the boat is going to sit a little stern down. It's going to sit like this. Okay, so what happens when the boat's like that is that you start dragging a lot more of your hull in the water. Okay? Not only that, you're taking a big area of your bow away. Certainly, so if you're going upwind, you can use that area of your bow to actually work your way upwind. So you actually want to bury or use this big area over here to help you get upwind as well. Put that into the water and use that asymmetrical hull to work your way upwind. Okay, and conversely, if your weight is too far forward, which, you know, it used to be in the old days, the bow would be down and you would try to get the water to be about over here. Okay, get your nose down and use all this bow to like stick your nose down. Now, if you're pointing or pinching, granted, that works really well. But With the rudders, I find with the rudders now being a lot more precise and finely tuned, you will tend to spin out and lose control with your rudders. Okay, there are people that still like to bury that leeward hull, which is fine if you actually pinching or pointing or trying to get up to that mark, that works. Okay, but a lot of times, flow will help you too. So if you actually generate a little bit of momentum, you will find that you will get the lift out of your boat off your rudders and off that asymmetrical part of the hull to work your way up. It's a really strange thing. I've actually tested it out a number of times, and I tell people, when you're trying to pinch up to a mark, you can either go forward, put your bow down, move your weight forward, sheet in hard, and try and pinch it. Generally that's slow, and the boat will tend to kind of crab a little bit. You will point a little higher. Some people have perfected that. But the other side of it is, if you just balance the boat level, put your weight in the right positions, and just put your bow just an increment below the mark that you're going for, and which is tough to do because it feels like you're not going to make it, you will surprise yourself by that momentum and the flow over your rudders and the flow over the hulls. You will automatically get lift and work your way up. It's a really cool. Let the boat go. Don't restrict it. Let it flow. Let the boat run. Okay, so talking about boat weight too. Okay, so generally I like to keep my weight in one area. Okay, so if we're going downwind, I will have my crew like wrap themselves forward in the middle of the boat, and I will come up into this position over here. And as the wind gets heavier, I'll have my crew and myself move back incrementally like that. Okay, until the crew will still be in the middle, until it starts getting heavier. At that point, once we get to this point, I will start going behind him. So now you're looking at probably 20 knots. Okay, and I'll start moving further and further back. And the reason being is, the more wind you get, the more your leeward hull, this one where the wind's going right now, the leeward hull is going to bury into the water. So you want to avoid that leeward hull punching into the water. You want to keep it flowing. So you don't want to be dragging back like that, and you obviously don't want to pitch ball. So it's that kind of balance over there. Another interesting thing is, I've been going through a bunch of crews recently, and with the EPO 3s, I find they're really sensitive and they want to stall out relatively easily. So I'm finding that if my crew wants to go out in front of the wire, I find that I really got to be aware of that, because the rudders start getting super light. So even in the medium stuff, I'm actually preferring it if my crews come out behind the side stack. Okay, and once we get going, I'm actually finding that once we start rolling, and it's not footing, it's probably fetching initially until we get enough momentum to start moving around, and we'll be further back to the point that my rear foot will be close to the rear casting. Okay, I find if we go forward, and granted we will go forward at times to point up a little bit, but I find the boat will start stalling a little bit. So I don't know if that helps at all.
Hey Mark, do you always go out before the crew, or do you have your crew always?
Well, that's a race. I always lay that challenge down on my crew. The crew should be out way before the skipper, ideally.
Yeah.
You know, on the F-18s and the spinnaker boats, the crew will actually go out unhooked, and they will actually hang out there and then hook themselves out while they're out on trapeze, which is really difficult on a 16. I don't know if that's worth doing, but the crew shouldn't delay. If the wind is enough that you are trapezing, there shouldn't be any delay. The minute that jibs through, the crew should be out straight away, and you should ideally beat the skipper out. It gives the skipper more chance to get dialed in, you know. If that little weight is out there, the boat's not starting to fly as you accelerating out of the tack.